Okay. So pag hindi tayo nag-conduct ng needs assessment, training may be incorrectly used as a solution to a performance problem. Normally, we conduct training because there is a performance problem. Okay. So hindi nami-meet ng mga empleyado yung kanilang performance targets o yung mga targets nila in their duties and responsibilities, or hindi nila nami-meet yung kanilang mga objectives. So by conducting the performance evaluation, makikita natin if the employee were able to perform yung expected level of performance nila and na-meet yung kanilang mga target outputs. Now, kapag hindi tayo nag-conduct ng needs assessment, ang nangyari dito minsan, just because merong problema sa performance ng isang tao, it doesn't mean na training na yung magiging solution. Okay? So pag hindi nagamit itong needs assessment process correctly, pwede tayong magkamali doon sa ating assessment, pwede tayong magkamali doon sa ating evaluation doon sa poor performance ng isang individual. Kasi merong mga, later on, explain naman yan, yung performance problem, for example, isang empleyado, it doesn't necessarily mean na kulang siya ng knowledge, kulang siya ng skill. Okay? Sometimes, nagkakaroon ng performance problem yung isang empleyado because, number one, pwedeng kulang siya sa resources, pwede rin na communication problem, hindi na communicate sa kanya properly yung expected level of performance, or pwede rin na kulang siya sa managerial support and even environmental constraints. Okay? Another reason why we need needs assessment is training programs may have the wrong content, objectives, or methods. So by conducting needs assessment, we could set the proper content, objectives, or methods. Okay. By conducting needs assessment also, we will be sending or trainees will be sent into proper training programs. Okay. By conducting also needs assessment, okay, ang mangyayari dito, okay, we will be able to deliver the expected learning and even come up with a change in the behavior of the employee, and it could also improve financial results ng isang organization. And of course, kapag mayroon tayong needs assessment process, kapag finalo natin yung proper process in this assessment, yung mga resources, yung mga pera na in-spent ng mga training ng organization for training programs will be beneficial to the organization. Okay? So it will be related to the business strategy of the company. Okay. So let's look into the model para mas simple yung definition natin. So as you can see on the left part sa ating reasons or pressure points, these are the pag sinasabi natin pressure points, ito yung mga reasons or ito yung mga factors that suggest that training is necessary. So we have here legislation. Ano ibig sabihin ng legislation? Legislation, ito yung mga policies, mga bagong law, and regulations. Okay? So it could either be internal or external legislations. Okay? Example, kapag merong bagong policy ang isang organization or bagong mga policies na nagre-require ng bagong skills, ng bagong knowledge, that could be a basis that you have to conduct training. Okay? Another is yung lack of basic skills. Okay? Ano ba yung mga tinatawag natin na basic skills? Yun yung mga reading, comprehension, okay? And yung mga basic skills na required dun sa trabaho. So if there is a lack of basic skills dun sa isang trabaho, so pwedeng mag-conduct ng training. Another pressure point is yung, or reason is yung poor performance. But kailangan muna natin i-determine ano ba yung cost ng poor performance. Baka naman hindi sa knowledge and skill naka-base. So that's why kailangan i-conduct itong this assessment to determine what causes the poor performance. If there is a new technology that is being introduced to the job and to the organization, you have to train people. Training could be an answer, no? Could be a solution. Customer request, kapag nag-iba ngayon yung request and yung mga needs ng mga customers, iba na ngayon yung mga nire-require nila na mga knowledge and skills. So training could be a possible solution. If there is a new product to be created and walang prior knowledge and skills in the creation, yung mga empleyado, training could be a solution. And kapag nagkaroon din ng higher performance standards, okay, so kailangan din ng training dyan. Kasi nga mag-iiba yung standards. So there must be a training on the new knowledge and skills also of people. And of course, kapag merong new jobs that is going to be introduced to the organization, you have to conduct first training and development so that the new employees or the employees who will perform their new tasks and duties will be able to or would be effectively perform their duties and responsibilities. Okay, then we have here the level of analysis, organization, tasks, and person. And what are the expected outcomes of this assessment process? So we have here, we will be able to determine what trainees needs to learn, sino yung magre-receive ng training, what training method is going to be used, frequency of training, kailan, ano yung duration, how often they will be having training. In the needs assessment process, we will be able to determine also if we're going to outsource, buy our training, or we will be building our own training na lang. Okay. So we will be determining also yung training versus other options such as selection or job redesign. Kasi yung, for example, yung per performance, yung mga reasons, sometimes hindi naman training yung pinaka-main solution, ano? Pwede rin yung other options such as mag-recruit na lang kayo ng bagong empleyado or baguhin yung mga duties and responsibilities through job redesign. And also, in the assessment, we will be determining how training should be evaluated and how to facilitate the transfer of training. Okay? So, yun yung overview ng training or needs assessment process. Now, let's proceed to who should participate in the assessment process. Let's proceed to the table. Na lang para hindi masyadong textual yung ating explanation here. So we have here key concerns of upper and mid-level managers and trainers in the needs assessment. So we have three key actors in needs assessment: the upper level managers, mid-level, and the trainers. Okay, remember this one, ha? Okay. So pag sinasabi nating upper level managers, sino tong mga to? Okay, this includes yung mga directors, yung mga chief executive officers, yung mga vice presidents. Okay. So nakalagay din diyan yung at each level, yung level ng needs assessment, organization, person, and task analysis, kung ano yung mga questions that they have to answer and ano yung mga key duties and responsibilities nila, okay, in the needs assessment process. So kapag sinasabi nating upper level managers, okay, they view the needs assessment process from a broader perspective. So hindi sila nakafocus sa specific jobs. So ang mostly na involvement ng mga upper level managers in the needs assessment is to identify the role of training in relation to another human resource practices in the company. So they are going to determine if training is related to the company's business strategy. So, makikita mo yung question dito ano, sa table. Is training important to achieve our business objectives? How does training support our business strategy? And what are the threats to our talent base? So, ito yung pinaka-common na sinasagot ng mga upper level managers. So, they will be involved in identifying yung mga business functions or units na nangangailangan ng training. Okay? Sa mid-level managers naman, makikita natin dito, they are more concerned in how, or they are more concerned with how training may affect the attainment of the financial goals of the units they supervise. So ito yung mga line managers. Okay? So mga mid-level managers, so yung mga managers from finance, accounting, marketing, operations, and other functional departments inside the organization. So under the organizational analysis, ito yung mga key questions ano, na sinasagot nila. And then we have here naman yung mga trainers. Kapag sinasabi natin yung mga trainers, this includes yung mga training managers, yung mga nasa HR department, yung mga nagde-design ng mga program, and even yung mga design ng mga materials that is going to be used during the training. Okay. And also part of the trainers is yung mga tinatawag natin na subject matter experts. So these are employees, academics, or yung mga academicians, managers, technical experts, trainers, and included din dito yung mga customers and even suppliers na mayroong knowledge dun sa area na gusto nating ipa-training. So makikita natin dito yung mga key questions na being answered by these key actors in the needs assessment process. Okay? So, yun, yung mga key actors. So, pag titignan naman natin sa handout, nakalagay naman din dyan yung mga description and definitions. Let's proceed to the methods. Methods in needs assessment. So, there are several methods na pwedeng gamitin, okay, in the needs assessment. So, we have here various techniques that is being used in training needs assessment. So, nakalagay dito yung advantages and disadvantages of each technique na pwedeng na ginagamit during the needs assessment. Okay. So as you can see in here, yung pinaka-common is yung observation, questionnaire, interview, focus group, and even documentation and the use of software or online technology. Okay? So, ang pinaka-common naman na ginagamit dito is yung questionnaires. Okay? Kasi ito, very practical, ano? Inexpensive. Kasi nga, you will be able to collect data from a large number of person and yung data can easily be summarized. Okay, so you have to read the table na lang, ano? Okay, now, let's proceed to the needs assessment process. Ito yung talagang i-explain natin thoroughly. Any questions so far?
None, sir.
None, sir.
None, sir.
Wala pa? Okay, sige, punta tayo sa needs assessment process ngayon. Okay, so it's like what I said, okay, there are three elements ang needs assessment. Okay. So we have here organizational analysis, person and task analysis. Okay, looking at the diagram, okay, makikita natin ngayon dito yung mga various steps, okay, and procedures at each level of analysis. Okay. So dito sa ating organizational analysis, this involves identifying whether training supports the company's strategic direction, whether managers, peers, and employees support training activity, and what training resources are available. Okay. So under this step or procedure, okay, meron tayong 3 key activities dito, ano? Strategic or aligning the training to the company's strategic direction. Okay. So, yung training na pinaprovide natin must support, okay, yung ating company's business strategy. So, this was explained already in Unit 1 that the strategic role of training influences the frequency and type of training and how training function is organized in the company. Okay, so we have to make it sure that when we provide training programs, it is aligned to the company's strategic direction. Okay, so kung yung strategic direction ng company highlights or emphasize the value of training, normally kapag nag-conduct kayo ng mga training initiatives, it would be easily approved. Okay? So, in organization na in-expect nila na training could be a competitive advantage, they will be spending or they will be supporting yung mga training initiatives, they will be spending or they will be allocating budget or amount of money, and training will be more frequent compared to those organizations na hindi part ng kanilang strategic direction ng training. Okay. So, yun. You have to show to the management that when you conduct training, it supports the strategic direction of the company. Okay. Another factor along organizational analysis is yung you have to get the support of managers, peers, and employees for training activities. Okay. If the organization, would not support or peers and managers would not support the training, mahirapan tayo na kunin yung participation ng mga empleyado to perform or to participate. Kasi mababa yung kanilang enthusiasm and motivation to attend trainings if walang support ang mga managers, peers, and employees. Okay? So, the key factor for success, okay, ng implementation ng isang training activity or training initiative, okay, is dapat magkaroon ng positive attitude yung mga management, yung mga managers, yung mga peers, and employees in participating sa ating mga training activities. Okay. So, pag hindi supportive kasi ang mga managers and even peers, they are not likely to participate and even apply yung mga natutunan nila doon sa or matutunan nila sa training initiative na yun. And number 3 is yung we have to consider also yung mga training resources. Training resources. Okay. So, it is necessary for organization to identify whether the company has the budget, time, and expertise for training. Okay. Kasi no, with a budget, you already paid, aligned, or di ba, and motivated empleyado, you will be supported by managers. If you don't have the budget, mahirapan kayo mag-implement ng training programs. And consider also the time, especially kapag yung operation ninyo is nasa manufacturing kayo or nasa service, tapos mag-absent yung mga empleyado to attend training, we have to consider that also. Sino kaya pwedeng mag-replace sa kanila? How do we facilitate the training na hindi sila mag-absent or hindi maapektuhan yung kanilang serbisyo o yung kanilang performance ng mga duties and responsibilities nila. And of course, expertise for training. So meron bang available na magtuturo? Okay. So in here, in determining now the training resources, especially on the training resources, there is a question whether we buy or we build or we use. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, saan tayo nag-end kanina? Doon sa buying, buy versus build. Sa buy versus build. So, kapag walang expertise ang organization, and also kapag walang experience yung kanilang HR in building training from designing, planning to evaluation, normally, ina-outsource yan or binibigay sa consultant or outside vendors. Ito. Okay. So normally, ito yung mga questions, okay, na tinatanong kapag tayo ay nagre-request ng quotation from various consultants and vendors along training. Okay. Most of the time naman, especially kapag mga large organizations, they have the expertise and they are hiring naman yung mga HR na merong background along training and development. But for small organizations na walang expertise and budget for that, normally ang ginagawa nila is they are asking vendors and consultants to conduct the training process from planning to evaluation. Okay? So those are the key considerations along organizational analysis. Then after organizational analysis, we have this person analysis. Person analysis. Tayo sa person analysis. Ano ulit ang person analysis? Ano ang main output dito? Or ano yung pinaka-main activity dito? That is to identify employees who needs training, and also we will be determining kung yung training na yan is also or yung performance or yung poor performance dyan is a result of a lack of knowledge, skills, and attitude. Okay. So as you can see in here, yung word na person, Okay. So determine natin sino yung mga empleyado na nangangailangan ng training. Okay. And part of the person analysis is to determine the readiness of the employees for training. Ready ba yung ating mga empleyado para mag-training? So you have to assess first yung kanilang readiness. Okay? So pag sinasabi natin readiness for employees training, we will be evaluating yung kanilang ability, attitudes, beliefs, and motivations to learn the program content and apply it on the job. And also we will be looking into the work environment. If the work environment ng isang empleyado nagpapacilitate ba ng learning and it should not interfere with the performance. So, under here, in the person analysis, we have to determine yung characteristic ng isang individual, ano yung mga input, output, consequences, and feedback. And just like what I explained kanina doon sa pressure points on training, the major pressure point, okay, for training is a poor or substandard performance. Remember that, ha? A major pressure point for training is yung poor or substandard performance. So, poor performance is an indication by, ano yung mga indication ng poor performance? It could be customer complaints, low performance ratings, and even yung mga on-the-job incidents such as accidents, unsafe behaviors, okay? So, that could be a potential indicator that training is needed for these employees or group of employees. Another potential indicator could be if there is a job changes or job change. Okay, such as kapag there is increase in the level of performance that is needed to be improved, or there is a new set of new tasks to be completed. So that could be an indication for need for training. Okay. So let's now proceed to the process of person analysis. Punta tayo sa table. Figure 3.3. Did you able to print your handouts? Okay. Punta tayo sa figure 3.3. These are the process for analyzing the factors that influence employee performance and learning. So under person analysis, we have to analyze first yung person characteristics. So this includes yung ating basic skills, self-efficacy, and awareness of the training needs, career interests, and goals. So nakalagay dito doon sa basic skills, okay? Ano ba yung mga basic skills? These are the necessary skills needed to successfully perform on the job and even to learn the content of the training program. So we have here yung mga basic skills is yung cognitive ability, reading and writing skills. Okay, reading and writing skills. So pag sinasabi natin cognitive ability, what is cognitive ability? So this involves yung ating verbal comprehension, quantitative ability, and reasoning ability. Okay, so kapag mababa ang cognitive ability, especially along verbal comprehension, mahihirapan talaga na matuto yung mga empleyado. Ano ba ang tinatawag natin na verbal comprehension? This is the ability or the capacity of the person to understand and use written and spoken language. Okay, so pag mababa yung mga yan, so mahihirapan ka na i-communicate sa kanila yung mga concepts. Therefore, it will interfere or affect yung kanilang learning. Quantitative ability naman refers to how fast and accurately a person can solve math problems. And reasoning ability, this involves capacity to invent solution to this to the problems that they might encounter in their task performance. Okay? So you have to first determine yung cognitive ability before you send them to training. Okay. Reading ability pa eh. Diba? So if there is a lack of skill in their reading level, it could impede yung kanilang performance and even their learning in the training programs. Okay? And of course, self-efficacy. Amo tayo self-efficacy na explain natin ijay learning principles and theories. Okay? Ano ba ti self-efficacy? Konting review tayo. Miss Lakno, ano ti self-efficacy tatayan? Do you still remember self-efficacy? Sa balit sa obra ni Miss Lakno, hansa nga naka-pay attention.
Self, sir.
Ay, okay.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Self-efficacy, sir, is a person's judgment about whether he or she can successfully learn knowledge and skills, sir.
Mhm. Bakit importante ang self-efficacy sa training?
Because it determines the participant, because it determines the participants' readiness to learn, sir.
Mhm. Kasi pag hindi sila ready, what would happen? Sheila, Joy, you raise your hand. You want to add something?
Yes, sir, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, proceed.
Okay, sir. So, self-efficacy is an employee's belief on herself that she can successfully do the job, and that makes him, whatever the training is given to her, then that belief of an employee that she can do that training and that she can, what do you call this one, learn the content of the training program. That means that he is or she is as she has as self-efficient. She is self-efficient, sorry, sir.
Hmm.
I think that's, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Sheila and Genevieve. Yeah, okay. Kasi yung nga, kapag hindi ka naniniwala, no, diba, that you could learn the content of the training program, parang it could affect yung learning mo din and even yung confidence mo to learn. So, when you lack the confidence and belief to learn, normally, hindi maging effective yung learning. So, we will not be able to learn or we will not be achieve the objective of the training. So, we have to make it sure that when we send people to training, mataas yung kanilang self-efficacy level. So we have to assess first yung self-efficacy levels ng mga empleyado before they join training programs. So we could increase that by letting employees know yung purpose ng training so that they could improve their performance. Okay. And also providing them information, okay, on about the training program, the purposes of the training prior to the actual training so that they could assess themselves na kung meron na silang background and they know what to expect from the training program. And we could also increase yung kanilang self-efficacy levels by showing an example patulad ng mga katrabaho nila na naging successful, okay, in attending and applying yung mga natutunan nila doon sa nagawan na bayam natin. Let's continue. Already recorded mo. We could upload this naman sa YouTube and they could rewatch this. Okay. So, pwede rin na we provide feedback to employees that learning is under their control and they have the ability and responsibility to overcome any learning difficulties experienced in the program. And lastly, under the person characteristics, we have to show also or to determine the awareness of training needs, career and interests and goals of the learners. So to motivate to learn in training programs, employees must be aware of their skills, of their strengths and weaknesses, and the link between the training program and the improvement of their weaknesses. Okay? So managers should make it sure that employees understand why they have been asking to attend the training programs, and they should communicate the link between training and the improvement of their skills or even improvement ng kanilang knowledge deficiencies. Okay? So, yon yung first step in person characteristics or yung first step ng person analysis. Another is yung second step now is yung input. Ano ba itong input na sinasabi natin? Okay? So input refers to the instruction that tell employees what, how, when to perform. So input also refers to the resources that the employees are given to help them perform. Okay? So, pag sinasabi natin input, these are employees' perception of two characteristic of the work environment, which is the situational constraints and social support. So these two factors along input are determinants of performance and the motivation to learn. Letter D6 na tayo, ano? So pag sinasabi nating situational constraint, this includes lack of proper tools and equipments, materials, and even supplies, budgetary support, and time. Pag social support naman, we are referring to the managers, okay? Peers and willingness to provide feedback and reinforcement. Okay? Ang nangyayari kasi dito, no? If employees have the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behavior needed to perform, pero kulang sila ng tools, ng equipment needed, ano mangyayari? Their performance will be inadequate. Bakit? Kasi wala silang proper tools and equipment na magagamit. Alang amit nga bare hands latan. They need technology, they need support, they need equipment, they need tools to perform their job. Even though sometimes kahit knowledgeable ka, skilled ka, maganda yung attitude mo, yung behavior mo, pero if you don't have the proper tools and equipments to perform your job or your tasks, it could really affect yung level of performance or hindi mo meet ngayon yung expected performance. So, to ensure that the work performance enhance trainees' motivation to learn, kailangan yung mga managers, they have to provide materials, time, job-related information, and other work aids so that the employees could use yung kanilang skills and behaviors, okay, before participating in the program. So, ang nangyari dito, kapag yung poor performance is because they just lack proper tools and equipments, hindi kailangan ng training. Ang kailangan mong i-provide ay tools and equipment. So, if poor performance ng isang empleyado is because of situational constraint and social support, there's no need for training. Training cannot solve the problem. What you have to do is to provide the necessary tools, equipment, materials, and the social support. So remember that, ano? Then number 3, we have here the output. Output, pag sasabi natin output, refers to the job performance standards. Okay. So poor and substandard performance can also occur on the job because yung mga empleyado, they do not know at what level they are expected to perform. Diba? Sometimes they didn't know, yung pala yung standard. Hindi mo sinabi sa akin hindi mo in-explain sa akin ng maayos na ganito pala yung standard. Ito pala yung expected level of performance. Tapos, sinasabi mong poor performer ako and hindi mo naman in-explain sa akin na ito yung, or I was not aware na ito pala yung sinasabi mo na standard of performance. Or ito yung mga quality standards na in-expect mo. Okay? Kasi sometimes, employees may have the knowledge, the skills and attitudes necessary to perform the job, and yet, they fail to perform because they are not aware of the performance standards. So therefore, lack of awareness of the performance standards, okay, is a communication problem. So, ibig sabihin yan, training could not fix that. Okay? So, kapag hindi sila aware dun sa performance standards, tapos naging poor yung performance nila, training is not the solution. But the solution is to communicate yung standards na yan to the employees so that they know how to target or achieve that level of performance. Okay? So trainees need to understand what specifically they are expected to learn in the training program. Okay? So to ensure that trainees master the training content at the appropriate levels, trainees in the training programs also need to understand the level of proficiency that is expected of them. Okay? Then we have here consequences. Ano ang definition ng consequences? Refers to the type of incentives that employees receive for performing well. Of course, ang nangyayari kasi dito, okay, if employees they do not believe that rewards or incentives for performance are adequate, ano mangyayari? Pag hindi sila naniniwala na walang rewards or incentives in performing well, of course, they will unlikely to meet the performance standards. Kasi nga, awamit mapasamak, awamit rewards, awamit benefits, awamit consequences na if I perform or not. Okay? So kahit meron silang adequate or necessary knowledge, behavior, and skill or attitude, okay, they will not meet the performance standards. Okay? And also, dati mo bagbatay nga norms ito, okay? Work group norms may encourage employees not to meet standards, especially no in the past kat mas pasamak na mabaling nga na pasamak ket awan ti hangmar rewardan di kiti good performers. Tapos poor performers kat awan mo ti consequence. So don't expect na imimit niya yung standards na yan kasi nga yung norms does not reward or benefit or does not provide benefit to good performers. So the same is true in training, okay? If there are consequences, okay? If there are benefits and rewards in attending training programs, okay? They would likely to be motivated to learn and to participate in the training initiatives. And if there are career benefits na marireceive ng mga participants in attending this training, normally, there is a motivation, enthusiasm, and even active participation, no, in training and learning the content of the training program. Okay? And lastly, we have here yung feedback. Okay, feedback means it refers to the information that employees receive while they are performing. Okay? So, sometimes, nagkakaroon tayo ng performance problems because employees do not receive feedback regarding to the extent to which they are meeting performance standards. Hindi mo't ibagbaga nga na-meet na gayam yung standards. Hindi mo't ikanso dati feedback no na-meet the DJ level of expectation mo if they are meeting the targets or objectives. So, training is not the best solution gamin to this type of problem if employees know what they are supposed to do, but they do not understand how close their performance is to the standards. So they have to be given specific detailed feedback of effective and ineffective performance. Okay? So if lahat yun ang yan, na-measure natin sa person analysis, we could increase yung motivation to learn, we could increase yung learning and even yung job performance after learning and applying yung mga natutunan nila sa training program na yan. Okay? So, yon yung mga involved dun sa person analysis. Okay. So, in summary, makikita natin dito, dun sa diniscuss ko, okay, determining whether training is the best solution. Okay. So, what are the various instances where training could be the best solution and when training is not the best solution? Okay. So, makikita natin dito yung mga various statements here where we could determine if training is the best solution. Number one, okay, is the performance problem important? Does it have the potential to cost the company a significant amount of money from lost productivity or customers? If yes ang sagot dito, training could be a solution. Okay? Pero pag if no, okay lang na hindi mag-provide ng training. So mabalin nga solution ni takit, mabalin nga bagbagaan di tao, or bayamlatan, dito nga issue. Okay? Number two, do the employees know how to perform effectively? Okay? If yes, okay, if yes, the answer dito ay could hang a training solution. Okay? Kasi nga, ang nakadepende din analysis skills can DJ expected performance. Okay? No, training could be a possible solution. Okay. Number three, can the employee demonstrate the correct knowledge or behavior? Perhaps employees were trained but they infrequently or never use the training content. So this is, this is an input problem. This is a problem along the characteristic of a person. Note answer mo toy. So the problem is characteristic of the person. Okay. Ito third question, can the employee demonstrate the correct knowledge? If they could demonstrate, okay, so perhaps, okay, training is not the best solution. No, detoy. Okay. Pabaling na usa rin to training. Okay. So were the performance expectations clear? Input. Okay. Were there any obstacle to performance such as faulty tools or equipment? Okay, so just like what I've explained kanina, no, ang modamet, DJ input, expectation, tapos dapat digiti faulty tools or equipment. Okay, no na-provide amin di kita, pabaling training the solution. No, if you are not able to provide tools or equipment to perform their job, tapos hindi clear expectation, so training is not the best solution. So, were positive consequences offered for good performance? Was good performance not rewarded? So, if employees are dissatisfied with their compensation, their peers or a union may encourage them to slow down the pace of their work. So, this involves consequences. It's like what I explained kanina, no, I want the proper benefit, rewards, okay, and norms that rewards good performance. Normally, handang imin nga i-achieve no kadejay level of performance expected from them. Therefore, if that is the problem, trainings are the best solution. So it's more of implementing benefits, rewards, and norms. No kati Ubraem. 6, did employees receive timely, relevant, accurate, constructive feedback about their performance? So, no nag-provide ka ti feedback, kanya tapos halatang na improve the knowledge skills, so training could be a solution. But if you provide, or if you did not provide feedback, so you have to improve yung feedback mechanism ng isang organization. Okay? So there are other solutions that could also be included, pwedeng job redesign, transferring employees, or even hiring, pwede rin yan. So in summary, if employees lack the knowledge and skill to perform a job, and other factors are satisfactory, therefore training is the best solution. Okay? Improvide mo the input, improvide mo the output, adamot consequences, you provided feedback. maybe native-minded, satisfactory one. So, tapos there is still lack of knowledge and skill. So, ibig sabihin yan, training is the best solution. But, if employees, kung ano to have the knowledge and skill to perform, but the input, the output, consequences, feedback is inadequate, training is not the best solution. Okay? So, i-determine mo, ano nga ta, input, data, output, consequences, or feedback ba ti problema? Okay? So, example tayo to, no, the poor performance results from faulty equipment. Training cannot solve this problem. But you have to repair the equipment of the Mozarda. If poor performance results from lack of feedback, then ang DJ empleyado ti training. But di kiti manager no kati agkasapulan ti training on how to give performance feedback. Okay? So those are some of the considerations that you have to look into if you are determining if there is a need for training. Okay? Now, another aspect that you have to consider, okay, is yung relationship ng trabaho na yan, okay, o yung task na yan dun sa business issue. Okay, for example, in here, okay, in the table 3.6, okay, the DJ performance, okay, the performance issue, i-determine tayo no critical ba data, no critical job issue, no critical process issue, can critical business issue. Okay, kasi no hang critical data, awam mo't unay ti impact na ka-DJ profitability, ka-DJ responsibility, and even ka-DJ customer impact na normally hang necessary to provide training on that area. Okay? So, yun yung ating person analysis. Do you have question on person analysis before we proceed to task analysis? So, last step in this assessment is yung task analysis. So, ito na yung pinakabalak ng trabaho. Although we will not be able to practice this, kasi nga medyo tedious dito, we need a lot of data in order for us to perform task analysis. Okay? Kasi ito'y kailangan tayo digijay description of work activities, diba? Including yung mga specific tasks na being performed by the employee and the knowledge, skills, and abilities required to complete a task. So, makikita mo dito, napakarami ng components na kailangan natin i-consider in understanding the various tasks. Okay? Knowledge and skills, abilities, and other. Yun, yung training needs assessment and even the 3 level of analysis along training needs assessment. Now, after determining if training is necessary, yan, kung nakita na ng organization na, okay, kailangan natin ng training na to, and we have the support of the management, we have the budget, and people are ready to conduct or to partake in this training needs or to partake in this training program. Okay. Now, after determining the reason, purpose of training, you are now ready to design the training program. Okay. So, ito yung last section in this chapter where we are now going to design yung training program based on the result of the training needs analysis. And you will be creating, one of your requirement is to create program design. Okay, so program design. So dito na mangyayari ngayon yung pag-create ng meaningful material, clear objectives, and at some point, the opportunity for practice and feedback. Okay. So pag sinasabi natin program design, we refer to the organization, and coordination of the training program. Okay? So normally, ang program design, merong mga parts yan or components. We have yung design document template, a course or a lesson plan. Okay? Tapos, meron pa tayong tinatawag na lesson plan overview. And if you have much more time, you could also include na dito yung mga handout or modules o yung mga learning materials na ibibigay ninyo sa mga participants during the training. Okay? So the design of the training program is commonly being conducted by instructional designers, human resource professionals, and at some point the manager ng client. Okay. So first component of the program design is yung tinatawag na design document. Okay? So this is a document that guides the development of training and to explain the training to the managers, subject matter experts, reviewers, and other trainers. So dito nakalagay ngayon yung scope of the project, which includes goals, outcomes, and what trainees are expected to achieve. So meron tayong example dito. Okay. Kalagay dito yung design document template. So you will be creating something like this. So part of the design document template is the creation of objectives. Okay. So ano ba yung mga objectives? These were discussed on how to create proper objectives dun sa learning principles using yung Bloom's taxonomy. Yun yung magiging basis natin in the creation of program objectives and even course or lesson objective. So these are the components of the project: the goal, the audience, the design time and checkpoints, length of the course, and also delivery, how you're going to deliver it. This includes content, method, training time, and problem opportunities. And the objectives, resources, sinong involved, topical outline, and the rest. Okay, so we have an example here kung ano ba ang kung paano natin gagawin yung design document. Don't worry, I'll be providing you an example naman. Okay. On how to create itong mga to. Okay, then after the design document, we have here yung tinatawag na course or lesson plan. Yung tinatawag na detailed lesson plan. Okay. So, ito na, mas detailed na ang parts nito and mga components ay yung mga ilalagay ng mga materials here. So, this step involved in the lesson, instructor, and even training activities and the time allocated in each topic. Lalo na kung kapag yung training program ninyo ay maraming topics or lessons. Okay? If the training would span over several days, normally, meron tayong tinatawag na detailed lesson plan pa dito. Okay. So this is an example of a detailed lesson plan. So we have here course title, lesson length. Tapos meron na namang specific objectives, target audience, and even prerequisites. Tapos yung outline, activity, and even the time or duration ng mga lesson na yan. Okay, so hindi ko na discuss itong features of an effective lesson plan, ibasa na lang ninyo doon sa handout. Okay, and after the creation of lesson plan, okay, meron din tinatawag na lesson plan overview. So, this will match major activities of the training program in specific times or time intervals. Okay, so this is the example of the lesson or sample lesson overview. Okay? So, yun yung mga components ng tinatawag na training program design. So, once you are able to design the training program, and also this was approved already by subject matter expert, the HR professional, the managers, and even the top management, pwede na mag-start to select and prepare the training site. So there are some conditions that we have to follow when we are selecting and preparing the training site. Pero ngayon, hindi naman na, lalo na ngayong pandemic, so wala nang face-to-face na training. Most of the trainings are being conducted virtually. So, parang bawasan din yung trabaho ng mga training professionals in selecting and preparing the training site. Okay? So, ang ginagamit na ngayon is virtual room using Google Meet, using Zoom and other video conference platforms. But if there will be a chance in the near future that mawala na ang pandemic and we go back to face-to-face interaction, so this could be the following principles that we could use to select and prepare the training site para ma-achieve natin yung conducive place for learning. So, yun, I think these are itong mga kwan naman to, hindi naman mahirap na intindihin. Okay, so nakalagay sa table 4.12 yung mga dapat natin i-consider when evaluating a training room. So, noise, color, room structure, lighting, wall and floor covering, meeting room chairs, glare, ceiling, electrical outlets, and even the acoustics. And even seating arrangement could also be considered during the training. Okay, so there are concepts here and pakibasa na lang, hindi naman mahirap intindihin itong mga. Alright.